Alright, we're in round one. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, this looks acceptable. Here's our blue source. Then we got a signet. We can preordain turn one. I like it. Seems good to me. We're never going to be able to equip our phantasmal image with a Sword of Light and Shadow, but I'm going to overlook that because that's not a big deal. Preordain's doing some work for us turn one, which is great. So let's find. Oh, I guess we're taking some pretty good damage here off the bat. Do I need to preordain turn one? I kind of want to. I have to lightning bolt myself to do it. All right, so be it. So be it. Let's make our draws good. We could find a Mox or something. Spellskite and Vendilion Click. Do I need either of these? Well, I can't cast this turn 3, but I can eventually cast it. Spellskite's just like a little juker. Kind of don't mind the Vendilion Click. Yeah, let's keep the Vendilion Click. I like it. It's a good spell. So we get to go turn 2 Signet, turn 3 Click. All right, not playing against red deck wins. That's a good start. Possibly Storm or something silly like that. We shall find out. We have Blightsteel, so we can't die to Brain Freeze, which is always a perk. See if we get dazed. No daze. All right. So next turn we're going to draw step, Vendilion Click him. Try and set ourselves up for a nice Sword of Light and Shadow at some point. So I guess we get to go click on his turn, or his draw step, take a look at what we're dealing with, then on our turn, potentially Sword of Light and Shadow, equip, attack. But we only get, I mean, we get in for good damage and gain some life, but we don't do anything, we don't get any creatures back or anything busted like that. Another blue-white deck? All right. I imagine this guy's got some counter spells. Maybe a tempo deck? Don't see Isamaru too often. See how I said that? It was pretty continental of me. Let's see. I can't ponder and Vendilion Click. I think we're just going to click him. Let's stick with the old click plan. I like it. Stop on his draw step here. He can counter, but at least it eats up his turn. Oh yeah, especially if he's topping. It's kind of nice. Setting himself up. And now we're playing around Force Spike and Daze, which is also nice. I love Vendilion Click. It's a pretty amazing card. I mean, it's cool that we could do it to ourselves if we wanted, but definitely think disruption is what we're looking for here. We want to see what we're dealing with. We want to get rid of silly plays. All right, so I can get rid of Brimez. Sword of War and Peace, I'm not too worried about. He can play it, but I think I'm more worried about Brimez. Although if I can Phantasmal Image his Brimez. And I can have protection from it if I want with mine. That's not, that's not the worst. Oh, I can't equip it though. I got to remember that. Otherwise, Trinket Mage, I don't think I'm too worried about Trinket Mage. I mean, he could have like Black Lotus, but it's either Brimaz or Sword of War and Peace as far as I'm concerned. War and Peace is going to be able to get by our Path to Exile and Ponder, whereas Brimaz is just like a nice big threat. If I play my image, though, I can double block if I block Brimaz with my Brimaz, it actually kills his Brimaz. So let's get rid of the Sword of War and Peace, because I feel like, because he doesn't have a way to target my image either. So let's get rid of the War and Peace. We have Brimaz, Savannah Lions, Trinket Mage. Brimaz, Savannah Lions, Trinket Mage. All right. I guess he just plays Lions here. Swings in. And once we get a nice light and shadow going, we're sitting pretty. I can't ponder in light and shadow next turn, but he's got to do something about light and shadow pretty quick, or he's in pretty big trouble. Ooh, Tameo, pretty sexy draw. Let's turn off these draw step trigger things. Play a land, play a light and shadow. Get some damage in, get some card draw. And by card draw, I mean life gain. But this is a good, healthy swing for us. 8 point life swing. So that's gonna take some. It's gonna take some work to catch up to. Pro white is definitely a relevant protection in this matchup as well, and being able to get back Phantasmal Image once he drops the old Brimaz also seems pretty good. I don't have any creature cards in my graveyard. Do I still get to gain life though, right? Because up to 1. Yes. Alright. So I can drop Tameo next turn, but I think it's more likely we're going to ponder first and then drop an image. It's really tanking on that. Alright. Finally came up with a plan. I imagine he's on the Brimaz plan. At least that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I can also Tameo it. Just lock it down instead of going for the image. But for some reason I kind of like the image more, since the Brimaz blocks Brimaz better than Brimaz attacks into Brimaz. You know what I mean? Morph. Alright, so it's an Exalted Angel. That's actually not a big deal either. Ooh, Hero Bladehold is a beast. So I could set up for Hero Bladehold, which is pretty nasty. Let's ponder pre-combat. I'm a little bit curious what we got here. Ooh, swords. Yeah. Let's, do I want to keep all these on top? You know, that's a legitimate question, because I don't need 2 lands, but I kind of like having the Swords to Plowshare. And I feel like I can win with this hand with the Swords to Plowshare as well. So let's... Because if he dedicates his turn to just flipping that, if we play a Hero Bladehold here, he's in big, big trouble. Because then we can follow up with Image and Swords. Yeah, let's just draw the Swords to Plowshares here. No shuffle. Get in. Make him go through the motions to get his Exalted Angel flipped. Gain our life. and drop hero. So now if he drops Brimaz, we can just kill it. Oh man, stupid signets. I think you do the signet first. Alright. So we'll get our hero blade hole down. Now he pretty much has to do the Exalted Angel, I think. I mean, he could just jam a Brimaz, but he's going to be in big trouble, I think. Especially being able to battle cry, getting more dudes out there, yeah. I could Tamiyo draw a bunch next turn, too. I can Tamiyo plus swords. Because after I attack, I can draw 4 cards. Still Swords of Plowshare, whatever he does. That's pretty awesome. He even has to hit a land here to flip the Exalted Angel. He can't really attack with these guys. Can't path this or journey it. He can Banishing Light, the Sword of Light and Shadow, or the hero. Both of which I think I can still do fine with. This Swords is going to do a lot of work, I think. Can also Phantasmal Image my own hero Bladehold, which is pretty absurd. It's a lot of battle crying. Alright, so he's just on the Exalted Angel plan, which makes sense. He's pretty much got to be. So we can take the damage here. It's an 8-point life swing, but it ate up his turn. And we're not really losing life because of the Sword of Light and Shadow, so we're still pretty massively good shape here. So I think what we do is draw our land. I think we just go ahead and swing. And at that point, I might just, because I can Tamiyo and draw 4 off of my, and I got to make sure I get my tokens first. Then we battle cry them. Is he going to double block the hero? If he does, I can swords the one of these. Keep my guys alive. Tamiyo, lock down his Exalted Angel, and then I think he's done at that point. So he's playing some sort of blue-white tempo thing. Board wipes would actually be good in this match. That's a surprising block. All right. Yeah, board wipes would actually be good in this match. But yeah, I guess there's no reason to kill hero because I could just get it back with Vendilion Click. That's true. Jeez, he probably saw that. I didn't even realize that until after the Sword of Light and Shadow triggers. Let's just Tamiyo now. Lockdown, Exalted. All right, concession. So we're playing against blue-white tempo. I don't have a lot of, I mean, it's nice that I have the path and the swords. And actually, Spellskite's really good too. But I think, I mean, as good as Spectral Procession and Lingering Souls are, I'm not sure I need them. Mana Tithe could potentially do some work, but maybe that's one I switch for like Spectral. 7 white sources. Think about it this way. This is either 6 mana, 5 and a white, or 4 mana, 2 and 2 white that I could pretty comfortably cast that spell at. But I'm not sure. I'm just not sure if that's completely necessary. think sticking with our tinker plans. This is just the best, like, geared for the tinker plan, I think. And I still like Mana Tithe. Mana Tithe keeps him off his 3 and 4 drops. He didn't play any Mox in that game. Doesn't mean he doesn't have it, but it does. It is nice. Image still seems really good since it copies Exalted Angel, Brimaz. And copying Brimaz, like I said, is kind of a big deal because Brimaz attacking a Brimaz, he blocks much better than he attacks into himself. Let's just run it again like this. I do like having Ponder Preordained too. It's nice when you're running combo. Like I can keep this. This could potentially be bonkers. I do have to find land, so we're going to preordain first. I think that's how it works, right? Yeah, because I think I want to preordain first. Because if I don't see any lands with Ponder, if I don't see any lands with preordain, I can just put them both on the bottom and hope to draw a land, and then Ponder the next turn. So we're going to keep a one-lander, which is indeed a bit dangerous, but we have the Signet, we have our combo piece, and that's just a little bit too good to pass up. This hand could potentially be very busted if it works out. Oh, there's Black Lotus. So he is playing Trinket Mage for Black Lotus. Turn 1 Brimaz is a pretty big deal. We can still potentially beat it, but yeah, turn 1 Brimaz is a pretty big deal. There's a Spellskite. There's a White Source. Do we need either of these at this point? Because what are we doing turn 2? We're Signet. Turn 3 Tinker. I kind of want to keep both because I can turn 2 Spellskite, but then he has more ways to deal with it, like Journey to Nowhere or something like that. I don't mind keeping the White Source and the Spellskite. I'm trying to think. I could dig for Path or Swords, potentially. I feel like because Spellskite blocks Brimaz, it's a nice choice, but because we're just going off in combo, I'd actually rather him play Journey on this or Banishing Light on this than my... Yeah, I think I'm leaving both of these, because that still sets me up for a nice turn 3 Tinker. And possibly eats a Journey to Nowhere out of him. So I'm going to keep both. So I am going to play the Spellskite in the hopes that... Because if I play Signet here, I get bashed for 5 next turn. I can still easily Tinker, but like I said, I kind of want a Spellskite. In case he's got Journey or Banishing Light, it's just going to be better for us. Because I'm going to have to hope that our, Blightsteel goes unanswered. Spear of Heliod. Alright, that's actually not that big of a deal. Still get to block a Cat Soldier. We are taking 6, but we're tinkering next turn, which is pretty awesome. Augur. Nice. Alright. Guess we just go for it here. See if he's got the Journey. And you can't destroy it with Spear. So he's got outs. Journey, Banishing Light. I don't even know what I want to find with Mystical Tutor anymore. Path, I guess. So I can upkeep Tutor, find Path or Swords. Probably one of Swords. Hit the Brimaz so he doesn't hit his blue source. That makes more sense. I like that. That's not bad. Yeah, so we'll upkeep, do that. I guess I don't even have to upkeep it. I could theoretically just draw my land, Mystical Tutor, Augur. That's actually, I like that more. That works out way better. Because then I still keep it up and I have it in my hand. I like that. Gives me a blocker, a chump blocker. If he's tanking this long, I can't imagine he's got an answer to Blightsteel, right? I mean, how can you tank on, you just slam the Journey. There's no, like, question. You have to answer Blightsteel. I do feel a little bit more comfortable that we have both Swords and Path, two like extremely good answers for Blightsteel. So that makes me feel a little bit more confident. But like I said, there's still Banishing Light. There's still Will of the, not Will of the Council, Council's Judgment. There's still Journey. There's 3 answers in white that are like amazing for Blightsteel, for dealing with Blightsteel. So this isn't actually an ideal match for tinkering out stuff. Clearly we got to block Brimaz here. Alright, so we get Brimaz, take some damage. This could actually work out really nicely. Now I'm, okay. Well, I have to reveal it anyway. Okay, so we're on the same plan. Here's how it works. We basically, wait, I already shuffled? Oh, Tinker, that's right, okay. Well, that makes things a bit more difficult. Now I kind of want to ponder first. Let me, well, actually I can, okay. All right, I'm Mystical Tutor. Yeah, I'm Mystical Tutor for Swords, because life doesn't matter anymore. Swords of Plowshares. This forces him to double block when I ponder. Interesting. And then I think he's just going to be dead the next turn, because he's got to block more than one creature. All right. So we do all that. We leave up Swords. He takes a bunch of Infect. And then we pass. So now we've got Swords Plowshares in case this thing gets out of control. Or if he comes up with an answer to Blightsteel, I can Swords it, maybe gain 11, which buys us a decent amount of time. He doesn't have a blue source. All right, concession. So we got there off of a Tinker. Very nice. Awesome. Very good. This deck actually, like I said, had a good matchup against us potentially if this guy ended up with Council's Judgment, Journey, or Banishing Light. he had very good answers to our Tinker, but he didn't come up with it, and we beat a Black Lotus. Always feels good. I'll see you in round 2.